Jewish Americans are far more than a group of people united by a religion. They're an ethnic group with shared ancestry, history, and cultural traditions. And like all ethnic groups, they're made up of a variety of subgroups from many different regions. So just how varied are they? And more importantly, what binds Jewish Americans together? The land of Israel was the birthplace of the Jewish people 3,000 years ago. For the last 2 millennia, they've lived in towns and cities throughout the world. Judaism is the religion of the Jewish people. It includes ritual observances such as Shabbat, the weekly day of rest, and keeping kosher, Jewish dietary laws. It also includes ethical values, such as helping those in need and loving your neighbor as yourself. And there are holidays that remember or celebrate Jewish history and tradition. Over the centuries, living in different places around the world led to diverse interpretations of these laws and traditions. After Israel, America has the largest Jewish population in the world. When Jews came to America, it happened in 3 major waves, each from a different region. The first group started to arrive in the 1650s, fleeing persecution. This small group was Sephardi, meaning their families originally came from all of these areas. By the 1840s, European Jews, referred to as Ashkenazi, started to immigrate to America. Many of them were part of a movement that was trying to break from tradition and integrate more into modern society. This movement de-emphasized ritual observances, such as those connected to Shabbat and keeping kosher. They primarily spoke English and dressed like other Americans. They created the American Reform and Conservative movements within Judaism. These are the groups most often depicted in popular culture. The final major wave of Jewish immigrants fled persecution and violence in Eastern Europe, seeking freedom and opportunities in the U.S. This wave lasted from the 1880s to World War I. While these were also Ashkenazi Jews, many were from more traditional Jewish backgrounds, which could be seen in their deep commitment to many of the religious observances and values. They would often be a part of tight-knit communities. Since then, Jews have immigrated to the United States from places all over the world, from Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union, from Israel, Iran, Latin America, and many other places. Through the years, Jewish Americans have faced serious discrimination and hate called anti-Semitism. Before 1942, U.S. immigration and naturalization laws categorized Jews as part of the Hebrew race. This was based on made-up science, which stated clearly that Jews were considered inferior to white Americans. For a long time, many housing covenants prohibited Jews from purchasing houses. Universities had quotas, limiting the number of Jews who could attend, and certain industries wouldn't hire Jews. In the decades following World War II, when the Nazis and their collaborators killed 6 million Jews in the Holocaust, American attitudes toward minority groups, including Jews, gradually changed, and overt anti-Jewish discrimination decreased. Descendants of light-skinned Jewish immigrants were able to assimilate. During this time, as they integrated more into American society, many Jews began to change how they thought about themselves and their Jewish identity. They increasingly felt a sense of belonging in America. Facing less discrimination gave Jews an opportunity to step up and fight even harder for social justice and equality, both for themselves and for others. In the past, Jews had worked as labor organizers and formed organizations such as the Immigrant Aid Society. In the 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, Jews continued to play a major role. Nearly half of America's civil rights lawyers during this period were Jewish. Through the 70s, Jewish women like Gloria Steinem played critical roles in the second wave of the feminist movement. In medicine, Jewish Americans have made many contributions, including creating the polio vaccine, the first drug widely used against AIDS, and the chlorination of city water supplies, in addition to all sorts of other innovations. And there have been many popular Jewish musicians, comedians, and authors. Like other American ethnic groups, Jews are visibly diverse. In fact, 14% of all Jewish Americans identify as people of color. There are also people who have chosen to be Jewish or who live in interfaith families, further adding to the diversity of the Jewish community. While individual identity is personal, Jewish American group identity is based on ties of history, culture, ancestry, religion, language, celebrations, communal and family traditions, common values, and a sense of being part of a single people. Today, there is unfortunately still hatred and discrimination against Jews that is found both in many cities and online, and across the political spectrum. In schools, for instance, it often shows up through Nazi or Holocaust imagery. It also appears when Jewish students are excluded from diversity discussions or discriminated against for having a positive connection to Israel. And Jewish institutions continue to be targets of anti-Jewish hate, which can include vandalism, bomb threats, and physical assaults. Despite these challenges, the Jewish American experience includes many stories of success, and Jewish Americans continue to make contributions to society in all fields. From Emma Lazarus, who wrote the quote that's on the Statue of Liberty, to Albert Einstein. From Steven Spielberg to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. With nearly half of the Jews in the world living in America, the Jewish community continues to grow and evolve, while holding on to traditions deeply rooted in their history.